Prepare-se para ver golpistas sendo desmascarados de uma forma que você nunca viu antes. Hoje, você vai acompanhar um hacker que, após meses espionando esses criminosos, finalmente expõe suas identidades e suas estratégias de fraude, tudo em grande estilo. Esse canal é responsável de investigar e expor golpistas. Vale lembrar que o conteúdo original não é nosso. Fizemos a tradução e a adaptação trazendo cada reação e expressão desses criminosos que, ao perceberem que estão na mira, entram em completo desespero. Se você quer saber como eles reagem quando a verdade vem à tona, prepare-se e vamos começar.
The entrance of the tower. So the call center is over there. And then to the left, basically in this room, then there's like one more room. Then we have like elevators, which are going to different floors. And this is 922. Let's say like one laptop is there. Otherwise, it's quite empty.
Huge shout out to my friend Neep for physically going to their building and my friend Nanobator for helping out with the investigation. And at this point, I had gathered pretty much all the evidence I needed. I had their exact location, the names of the bosses and the employees, the money mules they would use to launder money, and their companies that were based in India. Instead of idly observing them, it was now time to engage in sabotage. The first thing I did was send a lengthy email to past victims letting them know that they had been scammed and what steps they needed to take to get their money back. And although I didn't get many responses because most people simply don't check their email, there was one response in particular that definitely stood out to me. The reply was from a lady in her 70s who explained that she was going through a difficult time due to her husband passing away, which made it easier for the scammers to take advantage of her. Thankfully, because of my email, she was able to contact her bank, make a dispute, and get her money back. And although there was ultimately a happy ending, it still angered me to hear that they were taking advantage of somebody in such a vulnerable position. But it also made me realize that it wasn't enough to try to save people from scams that had already happened. I needed a way to effectively stop them from occurring in the first place. And in this case, I decided that the most effective thing to do was a call flooding attack. This involves sending dozens of automated phone calls every single second directly to the scammer's phone system, which will overload all their available phone lines and make it impossible for anyone else to reach them. As long as I'm flooding them, every time the scammers pick up the phone, instead of being greeted with a real person, they'll instead have their ears blasted with an extremely loud screaming noise that will not only annoy them, but hopefully make them reconsider their life choices. 1, 2, 3. It started.
Okay, just wait. I am providing the
I would continue to flood them for quite a while, but at some point the scammers realized that trying to fight the flooding was completely useless, so they just turned off their phone number and instead focused on people who they were already in a call with. But I wasn't going to let the scammers get off that easily, so I started to boot offline their internet connection, which not only disconnected their phone calls, but also the remote sessions they had established with their victims. But after the continuous call flooding and booting of their internet, I think the scammers finally realized that something wasn't right, because they started pointing at the CCTV with the realization that they were probably hacked. And the next day, unsurprisingly, they disconnected all of their cameras and never reconnected them. But the scammers forgot about one critical thing: their computers. And since I had pretty much done everything I could do, I decided it was finally time to confront these scammers by telling them their real names and all their information.
Calling support, how may I help you?
Yeah, who am I talking to?
Is this David from Geek?
It's David? Are you sure your name's David?
Yeah.
Your name is David. Because I'm 90% sure that your name is not David. In fact, I know it's not David.
May I know what is your concern, sir?
Yeah, my concern is that you're in a scam call center, Sindhu. So let me ask you a few questions firstly. How did you join this scam call center? And how much do you get paid?
Thanks for holding the line.
Yeah, who am
hi.
I speaking to? Who's this?
This is Edward.
Yeah, I'd like to
Yes?
speak to Praful, please. I believe I was just speaking to Sindhu.
Who are you?
Who am I? I'm somebody who's been investigating your scam call center, and I want to ask some questions. I'm gonna be real with you, okay? I know everybody in your office. I know Shashi, Sindhu, Sparsh, Devesh, everybody in your office, okay? I know Praful, Sarika. I know you're in the Noida 1 building. I know the room that you're in. So just give it to Praful, because you're not going to be able to answer any of the questions I'm going to ask.
No, you are not calling at the right place,
I'm not?
I think.
I'm not calling it the right place? So do you know what the KLJ Noida 1 building is? Do you know Unit 922? You ever heard of that?
No.
You've never heard of Unit 922 before?
No, sir.
Really?
Right now you are connected with the call. Yeah.
So you've never heard of Unit 922 and you've never heard of Story Design. You know, we sent somebody up to your building. You know that, right? Somebody took photos of your office. I think you know what Unit 922 is. And after this, they hung up the phone, but I was still able to capture this audio of their reactions to finding out that they've been hacked.
सर कोई है बाकी आपका नाम जानता है बोला सीधा 922 नंबर से आप लोग यूनिटी 1 से बात कराओगे तो फोन से बात कर लीजिए बोला आई डोंट नो हु यू आर आई डोंट नो whom you are talking about but if you need to talk to us you can come and meet us right here हाँ
लास्ट टाइम मैं ये बताने वाला था ये बाहर से किसी से मुझे पता नहीं था कि कोई यहाँ पे आके फोटो खींचे गया था और मुझे यही क्वेश्चन लग रहा है
It seems like this group of scammers were pretty shaken by what I said. Thanks for watching and have a good day.